Hey guys, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Oh boy, there's a couple ideas here. There's knight d5. There's rook d7. There's queen takes e7. We're down some material here, so we're down actually a let's see, we're down a rook and a bishop. So we're down basically eight. Our rook, 8 pawns. So if we were to sack our knight, it'd be 11 pawns for the queen. I don't know if that's or not. That's not good compensation. There's queen f4 check. Okay, let's check out some. Let's check our checks out. Queen f4 check. King b6. We'll say b6. Knight d5 check. King a7. Knight takes e7. That's one line. Let's see. Knight d5. King will hit c8. We'll say c8. Knight takes e7. Bishop takes e7, and then queen f4 check. That's. I don't know if we actually acquire enough in that line. Well, let me see. Actually, he can't block, can he? Because the bishop's there. d5 check. Why? How did that? Wait a second. How did the end? Sorry about that, guys. That's the wrong implementation. That should be king b8. he could actually move his, if we did the check, after, let's say we checked first with the queen, and then we tried checking grabbing the queen with our knight, he'll actually be able to grab our bishop with his rook. So we're kind of forced with this move here. This is the move that wins, and then we take here. I'll show you what I'm saying. Here is this. See, if we had checked here, then he comes here, and we come there. Let's say he moves there, right? We'll take, but then the rook can slide over and grab there, and we're still okay. We're still good, but he has enough material to compensate for all that, and we don't want that. So it's even better this move here. Once he moves B, we grab this. If bishop takes, then we have queen fork, and when the king comes there, then so he wants queen E3, queen F4. Why not just grab that? But maybe, let's see, queen F2, king B8. Okay. King A8. Queen E2. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, okay. He wants to put him back here so that we have some sort of an attack, that, like a forking idea. Would be an interesting move. I think they didn't want this rook to get activated. That's kind of why they wanted to check first. Was here after that was to push the king right there to block this rook from coming into the fight. I think that was the idea that they were wanting us to take a look at. There's a bishop d3. Bishop d3 is check is very important because bishop d3 covers c4, and it also blocks the queen out. So let's see. Is there any other? Does e4 do anything? There is actually taking f5. I'm thinking bishop e4. That's protected by a rook. let's see, bishop e4. Yeah, but there's a reason that one of them's right. I think it's based on the protection of the bishop later on after this, after we play like bishop e4, check. If queen, let's say queen c2, right? Check. Rook takes, not check, sorry, queen c2, rook takes c2, check. If king, king b1, maybe what do we do after king b1? That's is do we bring our rook over to e2 check? And then no, that wouldn't work because the bishop then would take our okay, that's not very helpful. It might be d3 now that I think about it. D3 picks up a yeah, I think it is d3. Yeah, d3. I think d3 is right. Bishop d3 check. King. No, we're just gonna say queen. We're just going to put the queen in front because they'll probably sacrifice a whole bunch of stuff, but we're just going to cut through that chase and just do queen in c2, and we're going to see if it actually plays out after this. So let's take a look. Rook takes c2, check, king b1, and then now we play, that's right, rook d2. That's perfect, and that blocks. Rook d2. Yep, this is it. We need to be able to block with check. We need to be able to block with check our bishop, and then we actually are up a whole rook at the end of that line. That whole line, we're up a whole rook. That's right. This move here is it. No? Oh. So this was right. Why did the other one not work? What did we miss? What did I miss here? So that's it. Okay. So there, and then okay. So there's none of that takes after this. B takes, it takes, and then rook over, rook up, and takes, and then you win here. King d2, and then we basically pluck a we pluck the rook. Yeah. King comes in. King h2, he grabs that. h5, he takes, and then we have 2 points. Okay. But that was a tough one. I didn't. Wow. Yeah, I didn't think of queen c3. But that you have to look at your opponent's best move. So that was that was my bad there. Excuse me. Okay. We need to be able to threaten mate. So there's only really one way to do that. If we play king h3, and then let's say he goes d1 d8 equals queen, we can actually mate with rook f1 mate. So his main idea after king h3 is rook h7 check. By the way, we play bishop to h4. Drat. That's not good, because he can actually play rook takes h4, and after king takes h4, I don't like that. He'll queen d8 equals queen queen check, and we don't want that. So this is kind of a little not fun. So maybe we actually go h5. No, we can't go h5. We could go f. That's interesting. We could actually go f3. That might be playable. King f3, and then if rook f7 check, bishop f4, and then if rook takes f4, maybe it's not blocking. Maybe we just kind of zigzag around, and he doesn't have any checks, because none of these work. None of these blocks work, because he can actually take, and then once we take back, queen. So we may have to zigzag. We might go king h3 at first, rook to h7 check, and then king to g3, king g3. That might be a playable idea. I think we have to zigzag a little bit. And I think the H move we have to do first and foremost, because if we go f3, what'll happen is he'll take, and then when we try to back rank mate, we don't have a piece protecting h2. But if we go king h3, then he takes our bishop. We can actually play rook f1 check, the rook intercepts, and then we mate, because the pawn protects the rook once we take it. So this is the move here. And then we come here, and then we take, and then we mate. Because these takes, I'll show you, none of the blocks that we talked about work. Because if we tried going here and then he checked and we blocked, he can actually take here after takes. The first one we looked at doesn't work. If we come up here and he checks there, comes here and then he takes, then we actually lose because he queens again. But if we zigzag right here, then we can actually go here, and there's really nothing he could do. He could take, potentially take here, but then rook takes his mate. So And it's actually a draw if we do this one here, because rook takes he actually takes with and then we can play rook d1 and it's a draw. But that'd be so sad. We missed out on a win. So we don't want to do that. We gotta keep our perspective 100%. We gotta be on it 110%. This is an interesting move for sure. Rook takes a8. Bishop takes b5. A takes b5. And if the bishop moves, let's say bishop e7, rook takes e7. Rook takes e8. Check. Or we could just forget about the rook. This is an idea, but there's also no. Well, let me see. Hold on. We could at this point copy paste. We could potentially play rook takes a5 too. Just grab a pawn off the board after that. So there's two routes that we can be going down, but I'm 100% sure we take the queen. Then we take here, and now we have the takes here. If he plays there, we'll take here, and we'll basically neutralize this pawn easily with a bishop thrust, or maybe even a knight d2 after we take. Let's say he plays here, we take knight d2, and we're good to go. We might trade rooks. Well, I don't know. Do we want to leave him with two connected pawns? I don't think so. Probably the second one after bishop bishop e7. We could actually then take and protect our b pawn. Yeah, that's probably the best idea. Yeah, I was just taking a look to make sure that our line was correct. The second one's best that we put there, not the rook takes e8 check. That's not the best line. It's rook takes a5's best, because you break up the pawn connection, or the connected pawns, and which is waiting for us at that point. Oh boy. Boy, I'm looking at, what are you thinking about? Queen a6 is an interesting idea. Oh, queen takes g. The only problem with that, Erie, that's a good. I looked at that. The only issue is once we do that, he's actually protecting Watch, if we go knight takes g6, it's not a bad idea. You have to always look to see what the end result of the position is going to look like. And if we try rook c8, I know what you're thinking. We can't actually check the king now. We could check the king, but we can't grab the pawn because the black's rook's guarding his h8 pawn. What I was looking at was potentially playing queen a6, which then we have the ability of we're attacking first the rook on a6, and then we're attacking potentially knight e6 with there, but I'm not sure if that's even right, because I think he could play, if I'm not mistaken, queen a6 might be a mistake because of rook b6 would be a problem. So that might not work the way that we want it to. Maybe we check first. We could maybe we have move slight inaccuracy. Maybe rook c8 check, knight takes c8 knight takes g6 check. Might not be a we may have the move order slightly mixed. Maybe we have it kind of in reverse. Maybe we need to start with the check first. What do you think? Start with rook c8 first. See, there's two. We can actually do two different ways. We can do rook c8 check first, or rook takes g6. Those you can throw in, and the end result would potentially closely be the same. But I don't know if it's the result that we're wanting, though. I'm not sure if that's the result we're wanting. I'm not sure. What do you think on that one? Since we've kind of looked at two routes. What's your opinion on the rook c8 check one? Not sure on what we were doing after. Oh, well, the reason when we were talking about this move here, he can actually, after we take, let's see, after we take here, our opponent could actually take back, and then he's protecting the rook. He's actually protecting his rook when we try to check. What was your idea about bishop knight takes g6? Maybe I miss. Maybe I'm not seeing it. We just re-put in the whole line, and because I might have missed something. Because I'm willing to see. Because if it is the right line, that's good. That's what I mean. It's good. because this is a really complicated. It's complex because there's two ways. There's two ways of doing it. You first could start out with the G takes, or you can start out with Rook C8 check. Those are two checking ideas, and then from there it branches out. So you have to have the correct you have to have the correct move sequences. Hey, let me see. Yeah. I don't. That's one thing I'm looking at is, yeah, that is a that is what I'm trying to figure out actually with this line here. Knight takes H8 check, and then king not check. Knight takes H8. Let me see here. Oops, forgot to throw the king move in there. If king G8. But I'm not sure if we actually acquire anything out of it. I think we're just down a whole piece. So I don't. It's kind of a little. This is a little confusing. We may be just missing one subtle move. Maybe it's a queen move. Maybe we're missing a. Maybe it's as subtle as queen G3. It could be queen G3. I'm just saying you have to always look at what's the drawback of the moves, and maybe you can make a idea based on that. I was also thinking of this, but I don't know if it works. I'll throw out another line that I was thinking about after this move here. Knight takes C3, C8, and then knight takes D6, queen takes D6, but I don't think we get anything after that. I don't think we get anything after that move. Boy, this is a quagmire problem that we're in. I'm actually looking at something based maybe around this rook over in the corner. Maybe we can actually sack a pawn here. I mean a piece. and seeing if we can't go for an attack in that line. But I don't know. See, this move has a drawback to it left this whole diagonal open for an attack. So I'm looking to see if there's any way to see, the Aikido principle is every move has a drawback to it. Every move gives up something. So sometimes you can base an idea on what did that move reveal. Like this, the move revealed long term this whole diagonal setup. Also, potentially, it revealed this pawn on h6 later being weak. So in theory, this rook is actually hanging. So if there was any way we can somehow, that's the move. Wow, let me see here. Here. Phew. Let me see. How about rook c7? Queen can't take. The rook could though. And yeah. So rook c7, rook takes, okay. Let's see, rook c7, rook takes c7, rook takes c7. Hey, that does pick up a, that's right, that does pick up a queen, doesn't it? Yeah, great job. Great job. Yeah, that picks up a piece for sure. Sometimes moves are just a waste of time too. Boy, because there's so many different mating ideas. We're kinda, excuse me, up a creek. This is not a good thing. There should be a way. We could do this. There is a way out of this. We just have to find the right move. I'm thinking about G4. G4. But I think we have the same sitch. I think you could just take with the rook at that point. I think G4, rook takes F3, knight takes F3, queen takes G4, and then mate pretty soon to come. Mate pretty soon to come after that. We might just have to go king H 1. Rook takes F3. I think we're just gonna have to go king H1. Rook takes H3. Then rook G1 after that. Rook G1. Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to save it but this move. And rook G1. Oh, we take the bishop. Uh-oh, sorry, that's my fault. I didn't think about that. Yeah, after you take that, you can take that, and there's no more. Drat, reactive chess. I need not to do that. So here, we are so close. Sorry, that was my fault, guys. I should have seen the difference in the change in the position. We'll get it back though. Yikes, he's threatening mate. Not so pleasant for us, is it? We do have queen f5 though. Queen f5 is a pretty intense move. We're gonna lose a rook, but we at least have a bishop. So rook, queen f5, queen takes a8, queen takes d3 check, king goes to g1, so we might need to skip taking on that one and actually throw in this move here. After he takes our rook, we have to play bishop a6, and that then pins the bishop and attacks the queen, and we're gonna basically win a pretty good amount of material in that in the long run there. So maybe I'm thinking that. What do you guys think about queen f5? I'm thinking that's the starting move. What do you think? I did look at that, but I was looking to see if we can't get all of our pieces developed. So I was looking at bishop a6 after this one. That attacks the queen. And pins the bishop at the same time. Let's see here. Because if we take with the queen, maybe he gets 2 queens for the piece. I think you're right. I think if we do queen bishop a6, he can actually play queen takes f8 check, and then after king takes f8, then he plays bishop takes a6. So we're kind of forced to take with the queen. I looked at that. I'm glad we took a second to take a look at that. I got it. There we go. Let's see, f4. King c7. e4. No. a4. G. h4. d5. g3. a8 queen. King takes a8. King c6. No, we don't have anything after that. I'm trying to. I don't want to go in for a draw, so. So maybe we can take the pawn first. Let's take a look at this. We'll throw in. This is more of an endgame play. King f4. Let's say king b7. King d5. h4. King takes d6. We'll say h3. c5. h2. c6 check. King king c8, and then I think we can actually a8 equals queen check. I think we have a check in that line and we're good to go. Oops, I think I missed. I think I have a move incorrectly. Hold on. Hold on, let me make sure I have this right. Hold on. Nope, not king d5. Sorry, it's king e4. a4. d5. 5. I don't know now if this actually works. h3. King takes d6. h2. King c5. And b7, maybe b7 check, because it's protected now. And then after the king moves to d8, maybe b8 equals queen check. Then I'm not sure. I'm thinking. Sorry, that this one here I made a boo boo on. It's actually it's h8. Sorry, I think h1. I believe h1. h1. It's not. That's not a check though. I don't know how I got a check there. Sorry. I don't know. It's hard to write all this out. I don't believe it's a check, so it's hard to get all the notation right. So it was, I was off by, let's check our line now. Oh, okay. Actually, we can't do that now. He could actually take. Yeah, there's no way now. Okay. Let's retry that again. Boy, this is a interesting one for sure. Excuse me. Knight takes e4. Excuse me. C takes e4, and that's an idea, because that keeps the threat of potentially winning the queen and the bishop at the same time. Yeah. Ooh. What? How did that? That can't be right. What did I not see? I checked all the lines. What in the world did we miss there? Must be this takes here then. No? Puzzled about this. Oh, okay. Okay. Then knight comes in. Okay. So basically it's takes, queen takes, bishop a6, and then knight comes in, and we pick up a rook. Okay. One second. Sorry about that. Yeah, we win an exchange. Let's get this back. Okay, let's do this thing. Let me see. Queen h3. Queen h3. What would be his response? Yeah, it kind of suits you. Yeah. Well, h. Okay, so now that he blocked with that, queen takes h, and then he intercepts. Hmm. Let's see. I'm at h3. Oops, I capitalized the H. Darn. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. There we go. What? What am I not seeing here? But Fox, he already went. He went. He went f5 though. So he already went f5. Pawn f5. Not h4. So we're kind of stuck there. So we have to find the proper move setting. G5. Oh, gotcha. G5. Boy, this is a quagmire. Yeah. I gotta see the end result of that one. This interests me right here. Okay. Okay. Wow. That was crazy. Who'd have thought that move would be playable, huh? Okay, this is an interesting one. Rook f5 check. G2. If rook d1, then rook f1, and we win. It's really the only way to hold on. And the king walks right in front of the pawn, so you have to block, otherwise the check would win the day. And we don't want that check to win the day. We want to be number one. That's our goal. Number one. Let's see here. Let's see, rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes. I don't know either, so. I agree with you. Nice job. Well, this is an interesting move. Rook takes rook takes d7. If knight takes d7, queen h7 check, king f8, and then queen h8 mate. Yeah. Wow. He's going. He let us checkmate him. Wow. That we. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'll put on an unrated one, and I'll be right back. We'll go over an unrated one. Okay. So. Yeah, but I think it still leads to mate, yeah. I think you're right, it still leads to mate. Let's see how we do on time. Perfect. We can do a couple more puzzles. And then we'll, if you have a game, I have a game, I got a Komsky game, and we'll go over that after a couple more puzzles. Let's see, night takes okay. So night takes F6. Check. Does that really do anything though? Okay. Well, get it just a second. We'll finish this one, then we'll look at it. Right. You have to post it into alliedchess.org and post it. If it's it has to, it's got to be a chess puzzle. Make sure it's a chess puzzle. And it has to be put in. You put it into this. Hold on, really quick, Fox. I'll show you. You input it. You can actually, where is that? You can go to an analysis board, I believe, and then you input it into here if you have the code. You input it into here. You input it into the FEN. You input it into the FEN, and and then you can take the code from up here and put it into the chat. One sec, guys. One sec. Ah. Sorry. Alright, back. No. The only ones we look at are the ones that are like Allied Chess. That's the ones that if you can take it from this site here and put it into alliedchess.org, then we'll go over it. But we don't do other sites because I just don't trust other sites like that. I'm not sure. There we go. Let me see. So maybe bishop takes G. I actually had an idea, Fox, of this. Bishop takes G7, bishop takes F3, and then knight takes F6, mate. If he doesn't, well, it's not mate. I mean, it's. Well, I guess it wouldn't be mate, would it? Ugh. So you do. I guess you do have to take first. Yeah, I thank you for doing for the. I did look at it. It is an interesting puzzle, but I don't know about the. I know I can do chess.com and I like chess.org because they're okay, but yeah. Thank you though for the puzzle. If you could put it into allychess.org, it looks like an interesting chess puzzle, but I just like those because then I can draw arrows to it and we can go over it and all this stuff for those puzzles that players bring. Okay, dokie. Hold on, let me take a look. Hold on, 1 second. Let me pull it up real quick. Ah. Wait a second, let me see. I don't think that's the. I don't think that was the right board. There's like an error there. Let me see. Let's see here. There we go. Is that it? This is the board. Okay. You forgot a king. So where's the king? But where's the white king? Because I have to put a king in for us to actually go over it. Where was the white king positioned? On F1, G1, H1. But where was the king for white? G1. Gotcha. Okay. Well, whose turn is it? White to move or black? Oh, white to move. Yeah, white to move. Okay. Gotcha. So we'll do analyze board. There we go. Here we go. All right. We'll finish this puzzle up here and then we'll do that one. Perfect. Thank you for the putting it into allychess.org. Okay. So, yeah. So bishop takes, knight f6, rook takes. Yeah, I don't know if we actually acquire enough compensation though. I think, boy, this one's a tough puzzle too, because we have to be really careful of our queen. I'm thinking though, Fox, I think we might have to go knight takes f6, and but I'm not sure if it wins anything though. So I don't think that wins anything. I'm trying to figure. I think your line's right. I'm trying to make it work though. I think your line is right. Let me see. Bishop takes. See, what was that line you had before? See, bishop takes, g takes. We have a discovery and we go. Interesting. Yeah, let's give it a go, cause you were right. Nice work, Fox. Good job. Good job. Okay, so I have to get rid of that one. Okay, dokie. So what is the idea behind this puzzle, by the way? It's just a puzzle. This one is tough. Okay. Let's first take a look at, yeah. Yeah, we did a good one. Hey, we work together as a team. As long as we're working together as a team, we could do it. I'm thinking of Fox. What are you thinking of? A bishop? I'm looking at bishop g8. Bishop g8's an interesting move setup, because that kind of puts a squeeze. That's kind of a it allows. But I think there's a problem though. He can, if we go bishop g8, he does have the flexibility of going king to h6. So Yeah, we both saw it at the same time, Fox. Yeah, that is the problem at that moment. That is the sitch. Hmm. Because the reason you have to think of all those type of moves is you're wanting to dissolve his pawn chain thing here. This is what we want to dissolve. Because then now what we have potential is we can get our three pieces involved at that point, and maybe even involves like a pawn or something. Boy, this is a there's not very many pieces here to work with, is there? Or I should say, are there? Sorry, that is are. Let's see if we're on the right track. Hold on, wait a second. I think we could treat this as a not practice with a computer. How do you do that? You can make this into a puzzle. Okay, so the bishop can actually come there and stop that. So that doesn't work. Hey, Fox, is how you make it a puzzle? Is it practice with the computer that you push? I always forget. See, if we play here, this actually is playable, but I think we can pick up a piece in that line. What's his move? Okay. Well, again, we have our threat that we can renew here. And let's see if we can't play rook d5. And if queen checks, okay. Yeah, we're kind of up a creek at that point. Let's see. I'll go over your line. Hold on. So bishop takes, king h8, queen f7, king g5, bishop takes g8, queen B's. Hold on, where yeah, what am I? Let's see. Say bishop, can't say it's bishop. Oh, bishop takes. Okay, bishop takes. So far, so good. Queen b6. And then rook d3. Let's see what's the computer say. That's what it was. So this is the idea that you were thinking. Okay. And then there. Trying to figure out what to do next though, because I think we take, if I'm not mistaken, we might take with the queen, and then play bishop there. But I don't know if we lost a lot of decisions there. Let's see. Okay, so you just retreat the queen out. Huh. Okay, so where, let's see. So after this line here, what was you after here? Did you have a continuation? I see what you're saying, yeah. So we kind of solved it, but I'm not sure of what the computer thinks. Let's see what it says. So we did solve the correct one. We did solve there. We did solve there. Here. Okay, G. All right. So G3. I kind of now see what this move does. This is more of a prophylactic idea. See, let's see what he plays. Okay, here. And then I believe now we potentially have rook here. I think we can actually play there if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That picks up a piece, and then he comes here. Now we come, do we come up or do we come up? Yep, that's right. So far so good. So he plays bishop there. Let me see, what do we do here? We might have to sack our rook for the bishop. If we do rook takes, yeah, rook takes e5, bishop takes e5, then queen there. Maybe. No. No. We don't have any more checks after that. Thinking queen here. He comes there, then maybe queen back. Maybe it's queen here. He comes up, we come here. And I'm thinking we're getting close to mate at this point. Yeah, that's mate there. So let's take a look. Queen here, there, check. If king comes forward, that's check. Takes. Ah, perfect. There we go. Do you want the lines to be done if you're wanting to solve this? There's a couple different lines that we can go over. Did you kind of get the idea? There, here, there, there, here, there. That's the first mate. If he comes here, after we check, if he comes to G5, then H4, rook takes, bishop checks there, and then mate. Do you want me to write it in? I could write it in for you. Let's see here. Let's see, bishop G8, bishop E6. I think that's, yeah, E6. Yeah. E6. King. Or knight. I think it's. Oh, bishop takes E6. Knight C5 or C6. And we have to leave that. There we go. It's G3. And G3. Knight E5. Rook D5. Queen C1 check. King G2. And bishop F6. And queen H8 check. And I think that'll that might, is that good? I just put that in for you if you need the line. Actually, you can use that as a line. F8 what? No, F8 check will you'll lose it to the queen. Queen F8, and you lose it to the you'll lose the queen. That was a good game. So we'll go over our Gadakomsky game now, and then we'll. Oh, gotcha. Oh, so you're saying that the G3 idea, Queen F4 Oh, supports for, okay, queen f4. Yeah, potentially queen f4. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Fox. Yep. Okay, so now we're gonna go over a Gadakomsky game, the London system. So he does a pure London system in this one. Queen g7, c3, castles. We'll probably go over this game, and then I got a log. So I kind of like ending on a game because it's fun to go over. This is more of a, this is, in my opinion, the hardest of the lines to break down. This line here. Yeah. D6, re3, D6, and he made the pyramid already. And this is so that if the knight comes to f5 or h5, you could just drop it back, so you don't lose the bishop here. And it also makes this knight look wonky or awkward. Either one. And he just retreat. Gadakomsky had a move of when he's basically looked at this move here, he saw that what's Black's idea here. Black's idea with this knight, you always gotta ask what's my opponent's idea. They're wanting to play e5, so Gadakomsky counters the e5 idea with bishop h2, which is kind of a slightly dubious, but it's predicting that Black wants to play e5. But let's just take a moment and see. If we were to play, let's say, bishop e2, would e5 really hurt us at all? Not really, because even if he plays here, we're up a whole pawn, and even if he attacks there, we can retreat our bishop back. So, or just actually grab another pawn. So he actually was slightly reacting to his opponent's idea. He had a reactive moment there when he retreated back. So it doesn't really, he didn't need to retreat back. He could have played bishop e2, and with the there is not enough material for e5. So you have to always not imagine, phantoms that are going to happen, attacks. Make sure that the move that you're playing actually, the move that you think your opponent's going to play is actually a real move that he's going to play. Because sometimes, I've been reading in Jeremy Stillman's Reassess Your Chess, that he has this chapter about the mental thought of a position. And he says that what you have to do is always think of what your opponent's going to do as basically a null move, a nothing move, and then look at it. What that means, so that what that tells you is, it tells your mind that I'm not going to worry about the move, but I'm going to look at the move. So you have to discipline your mind to say, I'm going to look at this move, but I'm not going to react to the move. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm not going to let the doubt of anxiety that even though my opponent may be 200 or 300 points higher than I am, I'm not going to let that get in my head. He told a story about this one student that he had. There was a grandmaster that hung a piece that she was actually facing. He never gave the name out who it was, but he says that what happened was the piece was actually being hung. She could have taken it, and the grandmaster said, "Why didn't you take it after?" Of course, the grandmaster won after that, because of the mental state that the other player was in. and she said this: I thought that there was I thought if I took it that you had an idea that was going to make my position bad and that I was going to lose. The Grandmaster told her that if you would have taken it, the position was winning for you, and I was going to resign because of the amount of damage that I made a mistake. So don't always think that your grandmasters are like the ultimate. They make mistakes too. So they're human. As long as they're human, they're gonna make a mistake here and there. And that's what Gadakomsky did by playing Bishop H2. It's not a bad move. It's just a Jeremy Silman says moves are like gold. You have to treasure them. Every move is valuable. So when Gadakomsky dropped his his bishop to h2, he's basically giving a move to black. That's why it went from a positive point 0.1 to a negative 0.1. Is because he basically passed the move to black. And I'm just giving you some advice to help you with your chess play, my friends. Don't look at it. Always remember to think of your opponent's move that it's not going to hurt you. Basically, that's what Jeremy Silman says. But look at it now with a new state of mind. And if you could do that, then you can find ways to weave through it. It's like a spider web. You got to make sure that you can weave through it so you don't get stuck. But don't react, because that sometimes you'll get stuck in the spider web, and that's when it's over. Okay, knight d7. Because see, his opponent wasn't even planning on playing e5. This move was to actually just get his knight rerouted over here. So reactive chess, be very careful. But I might have been wrong. Let me yeah. See, now the idea of this push is playable. See, he could have Gadakomsky could have played bishop e2, and then now with the knight coming to d7, now this move knight h2 is a perfect move, because there is enough firepower to take scope on that. So at that point, when this knight jumped back here, there is enough firepower now. But he could have got a development in it. See, he could have, rather than playing this at first, he should have threw in an intermezzo of bishop e2, and then when the knight moved, went back to h2. Just move sequences are very important. Now he's trying to get some queenside expansion. Castles, king h8. This is so that if you ever see a king kind of do this, they're wanting to play f5 usually. Usually they're wanting to play f5 because he's getting off of the diagonal of. Let's say that he played f5 now. There's a potential idea for a check. Do you see that? Right here would be a check. So to stop that, he just goes king h8, and then now f5 can be played without a queen check. Knight a6, a3, a5, b5, knight d8. So Gada's getting space on the queen side. He's starting to clamp down, and his pawns are pointing towards the queen side. So that's why he's playing on that side of the board. Your pawns will tell you where. And ooh. Yikes. He has to keep this pawn here, otherwise it allows the knight to come in. So if we pushed, I know what you're thinking, if you push here, right, every pawn move has a drawback. As they say, pawns can't move back. That is the truth. Now this is under fire. So this pawn's under fire. Tripling up on it. And now we have a potential, we could actually play F right here. That could be playable. Now infiltration in there potentially, but why not bring everything into the fight? Now he was threatening to do a tactic, a discovery, and he picked up a pawn. Now this is a isolated weak pawn, so it's always going to be a weak a move. A4. And what we're looking at now is potential winning of another pawn. And now if the knight takes here, we're now attacking the bishop when we're attacking the pawn, and there's an idea of us being able to play knight to d2 to put all of our artillery on that pawn. Takes. Now, in my opinion, this is now losing for black, because Gata now has the ability of, he has an extra pawn, plus he has endgame weakness of his opponent. And at this point, he took, because yeah, now they're in trouble. He played d4, but I think best idea is taking, in my opinion, because you're up already 2 pawns right now, or pawn, sorry, and there's pawns on both sides of the board. So in theory, we have enough compensation for this, but I kind of understand Gata's reasoning. He doesn't want to liquefy down or trade down yet, because of these pawns are on opposite color of our bishop, which potentially makes our bishop bad. There's only two pawns that are on light squares, which would be targets for our bishop. So he wants to keep the pressure on and play rook to d7. Now the king is coming to guard these 2 squares, so this frees the bishop now to basically go b3 and attack. Knight's coming in. Now there's that, and incoming. Now there's a lot of problem. Check. This was a major blunder. Yikes. He should have played there. This actually at least somewhat holds the position together. Still better for Gata. And he's going to pick up a pawn. So there's no way, it's not as bad as what was played though. 2 back-to-back bad moves on black's part, or mistakes. Do you guys have any questions about the Gata game before I log? You guys have any questions? I'll give you guys one more minute. It's what? It's what? Are you talking? No, wait a second. If he plays here, if he plays there, I see what you're saying, but he resigned beforehand. So that's so what you're saying is after this be C2, right? Yeah, it puts an attack on there for sure. Okay. Was that the only question you had? Knight. Oh, knight F. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's trying to go for mate. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's for like if he makes a mistake here. Check. Well, let's just make a bad move for him. Check, and then the bishop moves here. Our knight takes. There we go. Now we got the squeeze. And then we come here. You blast there, yep. Oh, not a problem. Okay, perfect. Great job. Thank you for the puzzle, Duck. And you know what? I appreciate y'all helping out. You know, we're as a team, we're unbeatable. So we just gotta stick together, work together, and we can keep rising in the ratings. We have to remember what Tom Thumb said. You need to life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you make the mistakes that define you. That's what he said. And Bruce Lee said, there are no limits. There are plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them at all costs, which means you have to study and keep pushing forward. Knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do. And like from our friend Hannibal Smith, you always should be at least 5 moves ahead of your opponent or know exactly what your opponent's going to do. And then you can predict the lines that you want to go down because you'll know their moves. Let me see, what else would be a good, something good to talk about? Because we need to stay focused on task, always. Our task is to honor the Lord with our talents that we have. And always go 100%. And I know you're thinking, he's got to say it again. He's got to say it. Yeah. If you can, would you just a favor for me? Try to avoid the hyper blitz, the 30 seconds, the minutes, the 3, the 5, the 10, and 15 bare minimum. But if you want to improve, International Master Andrew Martin said that you have to change your amount of time you play to study. And the more study you do, the better you'll get. So he said eventually serious students that he's had that have made really big leaps in their score and their development have switched from a set of 90% play, 10% play, 90% study. And I know if you probably play 90%, just try switching maybe 15%, 85%, and then maybe every other week or every week or maybe every couple days, try taking 5% away. And then eventually, after a while, you'll find yourself at 90% study and 10% play, and it won't be such a hard transition for you. But just think about that, because remember, we have to keep our tactics sharp and our tactics honed. We also, the Lord's given us a mind, which our mind in I always think of Spider-Man when he says Spidey sense. We get chest sense, a sense of when a position is wrong, when our opponent plays something that is kind of wonky or odd, and we know that there's something there that's kind of like, what's there, and it's that tingly in our brain that we get, and we're like, you know what, we need to look hard to see if there's something wrong, and we win. So we usually win when we get that sense, and we listen to it, because it's a ability the Lord's given us in our mind, that we know when something is wrong, we know when we're doing something wrong, and we know when we've done a wrong move. But He's always faithful and just to forgive, so that's cool too, always. But we have to always remember what Meet the Robinson says: keep moving forward. Never be happy with where you are. Keep moving forward. You could be satisfied, but never be complacent, because you can be in a one position, my friends, and all of a sudden, because of complacency, lose the game. So he's had a lot of students that have done that too. They are up like a whole rook or something like that, and then next thing they know, back rank mate, game over, and they have a 0 on their side and 1 on their opponent. But what do we always do? We end with this: we hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study when most won't. We do, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And excuse me, and we'll keep pushing forward and to greatness. Go Team Chess Cruncher, hoorah! Be blessed. Great job, and thank you all for the puzzle. Remember, you're always welcome to bring games. Be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.